Hello and welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network special interview. Last Sunday at Slammiversary, my guest went to absolute war with Sami Callihan at Monsters Ball. Very happy to welcome back to the show the wrestling god, the one and only Moose. Moose, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me again.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. So you and Sami Callihan had an absolute war on Slammiversary. First question I have to ask you is, how are you feeling today?
I'm still recovering. I mean, it's part of the business. It's part of the job. It was definitely one of my harder matches, mentally and physically. And the better man, I hate to say it, but the better man won. And Sammy won the not only physical bout, but the mental bout. And no excuses, but this thing with me and Sammy isn't over yet until I put him on the shelf again. So
Okay. All right. So the one spot that actually freaked me out was the power bomb on the garbage can, and the garbage can did not give. That made me cringe. How in the world, if I stub my toe, I'm out for 3 weeks. How did you get up after that spot? That was just made me cringe, man.
it's what we do, man. I mean, it sucked, it hurt, but I kicked out in one. I took everything I had in me to kick out in one count. So, and like I said, the better man won. The guy that was mentally prepared. It wasn't. I don't even look at that match as a physical bout. I looked at it more of a mental thing, and Sammy that day mentally beat me. I mean, I did him a favor of preparing him for this match. I put him out for 6 months, so he had 6 months to prepare
Yeah.
and be in the dark and play and know what it feels like being alone in the dark for 6 months. And like I only had to do it for 24 hours, and he's prepared for 6 months to have this kind of match. He kind of knew what he was doing coming out when he did and asking for this kind of match because he had the advantage. And no excuses, he won. And but this thing isn't over yet, so
All
tune
right.
in tomorrow night to see what happens.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say you tweeted out. I tried, I failed, I learned, I didn't lose, I never lose hashtag anniversary. So you're basically saying Sammy might have won the battle, but he hasn't won the war.
Yeah, pretty much in
All
a
right.
nutshell.
So actually going to this Monster Balls match, you know it's gonna be a brutal match. How do you mentally prepare for something like that? Because you know there's gonna be like there's a spots like Death Valley Driver into the barbed wire door, the thumbtacks. You know all that's gonna happen. How do you mentally prepare yourself for that?
You're asking the wrong person because I lost. So
Okay.
obviously I wasn't mentally prepared enough
Okay.
to win the match. So I mean that's a question for Sammy. The only
Okay.
thing I can say is this isn't over. Me and Sammy are not done. Spoiler alert, we're not done at all. And
Okay.
stay tuned, catch Impact on Access TV tomorrow night. At 8 p.m. to see what I do to Sammy because I damn well I'm gonna do something to Sammy. I just don't know
Okay.
what yet. You just have to tune in to see what I do.
Okay, I will definitely tune in. I definitely want to see that. So are you saying that we can expect another match at Against All Odds? Because I know Against All Odds is coming up, or is that a wait and see
Um,
scenario?
that's a wait and see scenario. I mean,
Okay,
I'm gonna get my hands on Sammy tomorrow night for sure,
okay,
and we'll have to see if Impact want to give us another match at against all odds, or if Sammy want to ask for another match at against all odds. I'm all in. I'm accepting whatever challenge Sammy is gonna ask for after I do what I do to him tomorrow.
okay. So it was the 20th anniversary of TNA/Impact. We have lots of appearances showed up at some anniversary from TNA Impact's past. If you could step in the ring with one person from the history of TNA Impact Wrestling, who would it be and why?
Hmm. From the history of Impact Wrestling, there's a lot of guys, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody's gonna want me to say AJ Styles, and I mean AJ Styles is definitely one of the best wrestlers in the world, and He's the most impactful wrestler in Impact's history. But for me, a matchup that probably suits me more or would be something people want to see. It's probably me and Samoa Joe. To similar styles, to made from the same cloth, kind of. Um, so I would say two violent guys who always want to hurt their opponents. So I would definitely say Samoa Joe.
Do you think we'll ever see that that would be a dream match? You think we'll ever see that dream match in the future?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm still wrestling. My career's still going on. His career's still going on, and we'll see. I mean, I can't give a definite answer because I don't know where Pat may or may not. Pat may cross or may never cross. But
Okay.
but I mean, it is a matchup to answer your question. That if I was to pick somebody from TNA's history, my first pick would definitely be Samoa Joe.
Okay, now you mentioned AJ Styles. When people think of the history, all the talent that came out of Impact Wrestling / TNA, the first person most people think of is AJ Styles. Are you hoping one day that you're the first person that people think of when they think of TNA Impact Wrestling?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to be that guy? You would have to be the face of the history of the company, and AJ Styles is definitely the face of the history of the company. I mean, that's probably the first name you think about in our history when you say TNA or Impact Wrestling is AJ Styles. So once my career is done here in Impact, I would like to be one of the first guys people think about, along with AJ Styles.
So how many years do you think you have left? How long do you plan on wrestling for?
I mean, I definitely not one of those guys that's gonna wrestle to his 50s. I can tell you that
Okay,
for sure.
okay,
So I mean, maybe I don't know, just to throw a number, maybe 7 more years.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, the longer the better. The longer the better, man. So July 1st, July 2nd, Impact is back in Atlanta. I mentioned Against All Odds TV taping. First time it will be back in Atlanta in 2 years. What is your excitement level for the return to Atlanta?
Very excited. I mean, for those who don't know, Atlanta is home. Is my second home. I lived in Atlanta for 12 years, maybe. Played with the Falcons. Have a lot of friends and family here, and most of my adulthood was spent in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm very excited to come back and to be in this area, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was my next question. Being a former Atlanta Falcon, Atlanta has to have a special place in your heart.
Oh, for sure it does. And like I said, I can't wait to come back here. I'm really looking forward to it.
So is this your favorite city to wrestle in, Atlanta? Or do you have another favorite city?
I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite cities just because of the fact is that I lived here for a long period of time, and I played for one of the professional sports teams. So yeah.
All right. So you're Josh Alexander, new well, he's not new, but he's the Impact Wrestling World Champion, defeated you for the title. What are your thoughts on Josh Alexander as a world champion, and do you plan on eventually getting your title back?
I mean, from what I've seen, he's put up some good matches so far, and which is definitely expected of him. And do I plan on getting my title back? Yeah, at some point. But honestly, right now I'm focused on Sammy, and I'm also focused on other things that I want to accomplish here at Impact Wrestling. I haven't gotten a chance to. I've already been the world champion. I had probably one of the longest run in the company's history as the world champion, and I've been a TNA heavyweight champion. I've been a grand champion. So the two things I haven't done yet since my time here in Impact Wrestling has been Impact Tag Team Champions and X Division Champion. So I've the world champion thing, I've done it, and I've had a great run at it. I've been the best world champion in all of professional wrestling. Now I think once I'm done with Sammy, is other goals I have in mind of things I want to accomplish. So it's going to be my I feel like it's time for me to accomplish those things.
Now you mentioned you've never had the tag team titles. If you had the opportunity after you're done with Sammy to go after the tag team titles, challenge the Good Brothers, who would be your ideal partner?
Oh, I don't want to give that secret up,
Okay, okay,
because I don't want to give that up. So uh, I'll just keep it at that. I don't want to give that up.
okay. Well, we'll leave it at
Yeah.
that. So there are a lot of free agents available right now. With all the free agents available, is there one or two people that you would like Impact Wrestling to try and sign to be a potential opponent for you down the road?
Who's available right now? I mean, I'm not into the whole free agency, and I don't keep up with all that stuff. So I don't even know who's out there. But
Okay,
just to throw a name, just to answer your question. I know a guy that I played. I good friend of mine and somebody I know, AJ Francis. I know he was a former NFL player also, and
okay,
he spent some time with WWE or NXT or whatever brand he was in. I know he's very talented and not only in the ring but with a mic, and maybe that's a guy that Impact could look into getting him. And it doesn't have to be an opponent for me. It's just
okay.
somebody that I know would be a good hand, and I think he's available right now. I mean, like I said, I don't look at Twitter to see who got
Okay,
released
sure,
and who's available,
sure,
but
sure.
just on the top of my head of a guy that I know that might be still be out there and is definitely talented. AJ Francis is definitely the first name that comes to hand. And like I said, he might be signed somewhere, but if he's
Okay.
not, I believe Impact should take a look at him because he's definitely a good hand.
I believe he's still available. I was thinking of like Johnny Gargano's available, like Cesaro's available. One of those guys against yourself would be an absolutely, I think would be a instant classic if that ever happened.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't even know those two guys were available. Like
Yeah,
I don't keep up with the
sure.
free agent market. That's not my job to do that. But I mean, those guys are great names, man. I'm sure I don't think they're pursuing wrestling at this point unless somebody would have picked them up. That's how great those names are. So I mean, they might be available for personal. They might be free agents right now just for personal reasons when they get stepped away from wrestling at the moment, but those guys are big enough names that if they ever decide to wrestle, I'm sure people will sign them in a heartbeat.
Okay, well, hopefully one day we'll see Moose, we'll see you against one of those free agents I've named. But we have a lot of new faces that we've seen in Impact Wrestling. Jackson Stone, Aiden Prince. Have you checked out on the new guys? And is there anybody that you think could be the next breakout star in Impact Wrestling?
I know Aiden Prince. I mean, because he's Aiden Prince has been around with
Yeah.
Impact for in and out. So I wouldn't call him a brand new face because I've known Aiden now for about 4 or 5 years, and I know he's been in and out Impact Wrestling. But the other guy you mentioned, I have no idea who that is. So
Okay.
Jackson Stone. I mean, maybe he could be the next breakout talent. I mean, he has a very rememberable name, Jackson Stone.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool name. And but the next breakout star, I mean, Ace Austin's been doing this thing for the last few months now. And I mean, I know he got a chance to go to Japan, and I heard he did great things there. And he's had a good run as the X Division champion, I think 2 or 3 times now at Impact Wrestling. So who knows? I mean, he's probably on his way up to the next level, maybe going after the world title. Who knows? You said Josh Alexander needs an opponent. Well, that
Yeah.
could be his next challenge, and he could be the next Impact World Champion. Who knows? We'll see.
That'll be a terrific match. Two more questions, and then I'll let you go. All of your matches, in my opinion, have become must-see matches. Do you consider yourself the best wrestler in the world right now?
It's a subjective thing. I consider myself the wrestling god. So
Okay.
whatever you wanna say, if that's the best wrestler in the world, then yeah, I guess it is. But being the best wrestler in the world is a very subjective statement. It all depends on what you like, what kind of style you like. If you like big guys, if you like lucha, if you like technical wrestling, if you like storytellers, all that's a subjective statement to be the best wrestler in the world. So I just consider myself the wrestling god. So
Okay, so it wouldn't matter then if PWI put you as number one as their best wrestler in the world then.
No, that is. I don't really go. I don't really do
Okay.
the ranking things because who's ranking me if is PWI ran by professional wrestlers,
Yeah.
guys who have accomplished every facet of pro wrestling, or is it ran by fans who just state their opinions? So unless PWI is being ran by Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels or
Okay.
some of the greatest wrestlers in the world, then I don't really care if they rank me one, two, three, or 100. I don't care. I mean, no insult to fans because I mean, obviously they're the reason why we get paid, but um, me, whatever I'm ranked by PWI doesn't break me or make me a better individual, a better wrestler. It's just a fan's opinion that's very subjective, you know.
Okay, fair enough. So the last question, very important one of my favorite spots, Slammiversary, grabbing the hot dog from the lady, taking a bite and throwing it back at her. Question I think everybody wants to know, did you buy that woman another hot dog?
I don't even know who that woman is. I mean,
Okay.
you got to understand. I know people were saying, "Oh, that was a plant in the audience," and oh, impact. Like honestly, it's coming from me. I had no idea who that person was. You got to understand. I've been locked up in the cage for
Yeah,
24
yeah,
hours with no food and water. The first thing I was thinking to do is grab some water and somebody's hot dog or chips or whatever kind of food they had. It could have
yeah,
been alcohol. I was thirsty.
yeah,
So I wasn't even worried at that point about beating up Sam. I was worried about getting hydrated
yeah.
and getting something in my stomach. So if that lady is watching, sorry for stealing your hot dog and your water and just I guess that teaches that should teach fans a lesson. Don't bring drinks and food around the ringside because a hungry fat ass like myself would grab it and eat it.
Yeah, my favorite part wasn't that you took the hot dog. My favorite part was when you threw it back at her. That was it. Took a
Yeah,
bite, you threw it back at her. Anyway,
it was a
Moose.
shitty, it was a shitty tasting hot dog. I mean, if it was a corn dog, then I would have ate the whole
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
the
But
whole
it
thing. Yeah,
was,
you would have thrown the stick back
yeah,
at her then.
yeah, it wasn't even a properly cooked hot dog.
All right. Well, Moose, I want to thank you so much for joining me again today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you nothing but the best of luck in the future. And I feel bad for Sami Callihan because I feel something bad's going to happen to him tomorrow. I'll be watching. But again, best of luck in the future.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
My pleasure. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.